Democrats are in soul-searching mode, big time.
These guys are crushing us. The Democratic brand is toxic right now.
The Democratic Party brand is really problematic, and I think that it is a brand that is, with all respect to my colleague from California, is associated with New York and with California, is associated with the educated elites in this country, and not anymore with working people in this country.
So calling it broken? Okay, that's easy. Trying to fix it? That's the hard part. Joining me now is Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. All right, so Senator, have at it. How do you fix it? I'll start with an easy question.
Well, thanks for the chance to be on. You're going to see a race tomorrow in Wisconsin where it's in pretty clear contrast how we are approaching the race for a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. Elon Musk, Donald Trump's billionaire buddy, is out there handing out million-dollar checks and writing million-dollar checks to support the conservative in that race. Democrats, who I am optimistic will win, are fueling their campaign with grassroots volunteers, with small contributions, and with positive policy. We just won a state Senate seat in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, that hadn't been represented by a Democrat in 30 years and is in a Trump plus 15 district. We've got a lot of folks who are angry at what Elon Musk is doing and at how Trump is taking a hatchet to things that we value, like Medicaid that supports disabled children, like Social Security that helps all of us have a shot at retiring with dignity, and the Veterans Administration. Our core challenge is to focus the fight and to make it clear that we're looking forward and we are standing up to and fighting Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Okay, so focus the fight. That's precisely what I want to ask you about, because if you kind of take a step back, there are so many, let's call them OMG moments that you could be focused on. People being sent to an El Salvador prison without due process, students with visas being detained, the president trying to punish attorneys, ban some from federal buildings, saying he's not joking about a third term. And then there's what people say that they voted on, which is the economy. Inflation's still high. Wall Street doesn't know what to do about these tariffs. Where should your focus be?
So I think the reason we lost principally had to do with millions of folks choosing not to vote. We lost to the couch more than we lost to Donald Trump. And if we focus on the issues that those folks care about and that we haven't talked enough about or fought for them hard enough on, I think we win. And one of those core issues is making America affordable again. Donald Trump promised on day one he'd bring costs down. But the huge tariffs that he's going to impose this week will actually raise the cost of housing, raise the cost of groceries, raise the cost of cars. That's something your average American wants to see us fighting for, and we have to have a positive alternative vision of how we would grow jobs, restore manufacturing, and bring prices down.
So stay focused on the economy and less about some of the ways that he is sort of grabbing hold of power and doing things that certainly you and others have questioned whether he has the ability to do or should be doing legally.
I mean, to your point, it's a different outrage every day. Is he going to invade Greenland and destroy NATO? Is he going to go take back the Panama Canal? Is he going to run for a third term? Is he going to find some way to send masked agents around the country to college campuses and round people? All of these are alarming and legitimately concerning. But if we allow him to, like a matador with a bull, distract us this way and that way every single day, no one will know what we stand for and what we're fighting for. So this week and this month, Republicans in Congress are trying to pass a bill that would cut Medicaid in order to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. And the tariffs that Trump is imposing are going to raise costs for working people, not lower them. Focus on those 2 points, and we've got a path forward in a future.
So, as a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, I was going to ask next about Greenland. So, I'm interested to see how you react to this, because this is something that the president is talking about over and over again. He said over the weekend, "We'll get Greenland, yeah, 100%. I'll never take military force off the table, but I think there's a good possibility we could do it without military force." Are you saying you don't think he means it? Are you saying
just insane. It's just insane. That's the problem, is that, look, my Republican colleagues say, oh, no, he's just negotiating. He just throws stuff out there. But he's the president, and he's threatening a NATO ally with military action. It's insane. It's unmoored. And we could spend all of our time huffing and puffing about how ridiculous it is. But look, your average Trump voter laughs at us and says he's owning the libs. And your average middle American says, why are you wasting your time worrying about Greenland? I can't even find it on a map. The challenge is that the Danes, our close NATO allies and partners, are angry, upset, and offended. So are the Canadians, the largest export and business partner for my home state and most home states. So it does have real consequences. He is threatening the NATO alliance. He's threatening our closest allies. It does have real world consequences, but we have to focus on the two issues that I said were the main issues for the Democratic Party and working Americans.
Senator Chris Coons, thank you so much for being here. Really interesting conversation. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
We're seeing this play out now with Greenland, where Trump's threat to use military force to annex the island has been met with quite a strong resolve from Greenland's government to say, it will make its own decisions. Thank you very much. But I just wonder, in terms of the jeopardy of this moment, David, what kind of message does this send to someone like Vladimir Putin to be threatening to annex another country at the very moment that you are negotiating an end to Russia's war with Ukraine? I mean, this does tie in at this political moment.
It certainly does. And, President Trump was asked about this by Kristen Welker at NBC over the weekend. He said, I haven't given it any thought. I don't really care what, the Putin reaction is to all of this tension with the Europeans. But clearly to Putin, a world in which you decide international disputes by raw power plays to exactly what he's wanted for the longest time. He's felt bound up by all the international institutions, the idea that they would join all of these, operate by those rules. And the invasion of Ukraine was a sign of his determination to say, because we can do it, because Russia, while weakened, still has nuclear weapons, no one's going to mess with us if push comes to shove. That is what, in the end, I think, is a world that Putin wants. So I don't think he could be anything more than delighted by seeing President Trump operate by the same rules.